Welcome back to another edition of On the Mic, and we have another incredible episode for you for today. But first, as always, a little bit of business to take care of. Today's episode is brought to you by Picture Me 3D. Have Picture Me 3D bring your memories to life with a custom-crafted high-relief photo 3D replica. Whether you're into bass fishing like I am, football, baseball, soccer, basketball, wedding pictures, family photos, graduation pictures, no matter what the moment is, have Picture Me 3D make you a custom 3D photo replica of that moment so you could remember it for the rest of your life. Guys, I am telling you, Picture Me 3D is where it's at. Go to their website and check them out at pictureme3d.com. When you do, make sure to use my promo code at checkout, Norman10. That is Norman 10 at checkout. Get a discount off your entire order at Picture Me 3D. All right, now we're going to jump right into tonight's episode because I am super excited about the guest we have coming on joining us. He is just coming off his rookie campaign on the Bassmaster Elite Series, but he is a three-time, not one, not two, but a three-time Bassmaster High School champion, a former college bass champion, a Bassmaster Elite Series champion. He is a U.S. Open Team Tournament champion, and he is the reigning Elite Series Rookie of the Year. After that incredible Bassmaster Elite Series rookie season, he is just coming off of, what do you do? How do you start your off season off? Well, you just head to Lake Gunnersville and pocket $500K by winning the Ultimate Angler Challenge. So guys, we're going to talk about those things and a whole lot more with our guest tonight as we are joined on the mic with Tucker Smith, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro, Tucker Smith. All right, we are on the mic with Elite Series Pro, Tucker Smith. What is going on, Tucker? What's happening today, my man?
Hey there, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad at all. A little bit of rain up here in East Tennessee right now. I'm sure you're getting about the same in Alabama.
Yeah, we are getting some rain over here. It's been torrential downpour all day.
Oh, man. Yeah, I woke up to a torrential downpour early this morning, and then kind of the hard stuff let up, but it's still been off and on raining pretty much for the most part of the day, man. But we're going to roll right into it, man. Let's talk a little bit about off season. What's Tucker's life like during the off season, and how much of an off season do you get? Because as a professional angler, you don't get a lot of off season like a lot of the fans might think. As soon as the last tournament's done, man, you're getting prepped, ready, rigged, boats, sponsorship obligations, rewraps, the whole 9 yards. So everybody thinks you might get like 3 months off. You're probably only getting about a month or even less in some cases. So what's the off season like? And when you do get a chance to do some stuff on, that you want to do, what hobbies do you get into?
I mostly fish. I mostly fish on the off season. It's a good time around the house. I live in Alabama. Grew up on the Coosa River, is where my parents live, and I moved up to Gunnersville about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, so been living there. It's been great, but it's nice to come back home during the holidays and spend some time around the Coosa River and fish around here and hang out with my family and get some sponsor stuff figured out, because that's what I've been doing a lot recently, is getting the boat figured out for next year, getting the motor figured out for next year.
Right.
And just trying to get sponsors lined up for next season and make sure all my stuff's in line and starting to organize some tackle and stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, and you'd mentioned mainly your hobby during your off season is you still do a lot of fishing, and but that brings me to something. That's I believe. Yourself is in this category with a lot of the younger Elite Series pros out there today that is just, they are just doing so well, and yourself included. And that's one of the reasons you guys are so deadly on the water is you do put your time in. You put your I mean, and a little bit of a side note, and I'm not going to mention the name, but I was on the mic about 3 weeks ago with a veteran on tour that's been on tour for 15 years or so. And
Yeah.
he said he doesn't do much fishing in the off season. Then this is actually his first year. He's actually missing the big show in March, and he said maybe that's his problem is he doesn't fish during the off season. But to your point right there, man, that is what it's all about. Being a professional angler is you got to put that time in. And 3 months not hitting the water and think you could go fresh right into the first event of the year in practice, it just doesn't work that way, does it?
Well, there's a lot of variables in that for sure. I mean, especially like some of the older guys that, they've got families and stuff. They've got a lot of stuff that they have to attend to. And another thing with the young guys is, a lot of us don't really have families yet. So
Yeah.
we're kind of, able to use our time more on the water than, would say a full family would. So, I mean,
Right.
I definitely understand why a lot of those guys can't sacrifice as much time as like some of the young guys can.
Yeah.
But, and I'm sure I'll be in the same situation one day. But as of now, I'm spending as much time as I can on the water, like, several days a week.
Yeah.
And when I'm not on the water, I'm working on sponsor stuff, or I'm working on boat wrap stuff, or I'm working on, stuff to prepare for next season. So I'm always trying to do something, stay busy, whether that be trying to be on the water and learning new techniques or in the off season, or whether that be, rigging up my truck or whatever, getting ready for next season. So
That's it, man. All right, I want to talk a little bit about prior to becoming an Elite Series Pro, man. A 3-time Bassmaster High School champion, and I'll add one thing to that: 3 consecutive Bassmaster High School championships, man, with Briarwood High School and in Alabama. Now, a little bit of side note, which I didn't know until about an hour ago. I was kind of getting some last minute notes together for the podcast tonight, and I I was at the Hope Festival, helping Randy Howell with his boat giveaway, doing some media there, doing some coverage for it. And I done an interview with a couple guys from Briarwood High School that was there volunteering their time to kind of give a hand, if Randy needed any help or whatever from the high school fishing. Mr. Josh Jones,
awesome.
which he's the coach now, Coach Jones, and his boy Whit, which this was, I think, Whit's first year. I think it's 7th through 12th, if I'm not mistaken. And he was a 7th grader, so but I done a nice little interview with them. So when I was looking at that and doing some notes for tonight, I'm like, dang, that's pretty awesome, man, that I interviewed these guys, and you were actually from the same high school they were from. But 3 consecutive national championships, dude, that just doesn't happen in normal time, man. Talk a little bit about that, and talk about your high school fishing career and how that went, man. 3 national championships consecutively, man. That's insane.
yeah, man, it was a really big blessing. Actually, I used to go to, when I went to Briarwood, I went to Randy Howell's King's Home event that he had, where he does that every year, and I went for several years. I think I've been to that event 3 or 4 times. So that's a good event. King's Home is a really awesome place that I've spent some time working with them a little bit.
Yes.
So it's a really cool place, and they do some great stuff for a lot of people that really need it. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely in high school it was amazing. Being able to get to that tournament, that national championship, and then to be able to win it 3 years in a row was crazy. And the cool thing is they were all on Kentucky Lake, but the first 2, I think it was 2018 and 2019, those were those were in August, so it was heat of the summer, power fishing, flipping a jig, chatterbait, stuff like that, and we were able to catch them that way. And then the next year, the third year, it was actually, I think it was October, so it was a completely different bite. We were actually catching them all on topwater out on the main lake and on bars and stuff like that, and ended up winning that third year. And yeah, man, it was unbelievable. I always look back, like, on that time, and it's like, dang, like, it's amazing just to get to that tournament, but to win it's even crazier, and then to win it 3 times in a row, it's like unreal.
It is.
It's something that I look back on sometimes and think of how big of a blessing that was, and that opened a lot of doors for me when I was at a young age to gain a couple sponsors and start learning the business aspect of the fishing and of the sport. And so it's been a cool ride, and then ended up going to college after that to fish.
Yeah. And that brings us to your college fishing career. Now, you talked about business. You went to the University of Auburn as a business major, and you just came off of 3 consecutive high school national championships. You go to college, you fish for Auburn. You're a business major at Auburn, and you end up winning another daggum college bass championship. Talk about that a little bit, man. And what year in college did you win that championship? Was it your senior or junior?
Yeah, so going into college was unbelievable. It was an awesome opportunity to learn. I ended up going over there and fishing with Logan Parks. He kind of recruited me to come over to Auburn.
Wow.
And it was a great dynamic, great school, a lot of awesome fisheries around there. And then my first year going to Auburn, me and Logan actually won college bass team of the year. So we were the best. We had the best season out of any college anglers the whole season my freshman year. And then we ended up winning a main Bassmaster event at Saginaw Bay. The next year we actually got second in that, and then me and Logan got second in the ACA National Championship, which is also a big college national championship that they have. We got second at Pickwick, and then I think it was my senior year. Me and Hayden joined back up. We fished in high school and won a high school national championship together, and then me and Hayden joined back up in college, and we won a Bassmaster College national championship together. So wow. I don't know if we were the only two. I think we might be the only two to do that, win a high school one and a college one.
Wow, that's
together. And then we also won the ACA national championship that year. So we won 2 national championships at my senior year in college.
Wow, that's really, really incredible, dude.
It was awesome. Man. And I had two second place finishes in the classic bracket in college.
Yeah.
So I was two times. I was 1 spot from making the classic. So being able to make it this year on the elites is really special.
Yeah, that's going to be a special feeling when you get to walk across that stage on day one.
Heck yeah.
Now we talked a little bit about business. Now you were a business major at Auburn, and people or fishing fans, people on the outside of the pro industry looking in, don't realize what goes into being a successful pro on tour. Everybody, all your fishing fans out there, they just think you get to the lake, put the boat in, and you start casting a rod, but that's the furthest thing from the truth, man. You have to be well apt in today's industry with your marketing and your business skills to be able to have a long-term career as a professional bass angler. You taking marketing, and that's one thing I hear from a lot of pro anglers that is successful on tour is when they went to college, they either took a marketing degree or a business degree because they knew their goal was to be a professional bass angler, and that would help them with their career. So taking a business degree in college, how do you think that helps you in your pro career as far as maintaining a long-term career? Because that's a lot of it is your business senses and your marketing senses to be able to keep doing what you do for a long time.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. I think that's what most fishermen get into. They usually get in that business
Yeah.
degree, and it definitely helps. I think that fishing's a little bit different than a lot of the other jobs that that are taught about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit different than most jobs, but the whole business side of it is still around the same concept. So yeah, it definitely helps a little bit. I would say the biggest thing for me is just learning it from a young age and being in the industry for a while.
Right.
That's something that I would say has helped me more than anything. Is just starting off in high school, learning how to talk with sponsors, learning how to, you know, how to how to make a list of deliverables to give to your sponsors, how to go up to sponsors and talk to them, and when you're having conversations with those kind of people, letting them know how you can help benefit their company instead of just telling them what you want. That's something I try to do is build a relationship with a sponsor, with a company like that. You don't really just want to go up to them and flash your finishes and stuff like that and trophies in their face. You want to kind of have a relationship with your sponsor, and that's something I learned from a young age of being in the industry. So it's been really cool.
That's awesome, man. We're going to go into your rookie season this past year. Great rookie season, man. Rookie of the year. On Lake Fork, you ended up winning your first blue trophy. Before we get into that, the Lake Fork event, though, you actually, in your first season on the Elite Series, you had 4 top 10s, a second place finish, and then the first on Lake Fork. And not only a first place finish on Lake Fork, but you got your first of what's gonna probably be many century belts with 127 pounds and 8 ounces, dude, of studs, of Lake Fork studs. So talk a little bit about that event, man, and I want to know, as a rookie on tour going into day 4, knowing that, man, I have a shot to do something that I've been dreaming about since I was a little bitty kid, to hoist a blue trophy on stage. What was the emotions like before the tournament, before day 4 started?
The emotions were everything, man. It's something that I've wanted to achieve my whole life, and just to get to the Elite Series was such a big dream of mine, and to be able to complete a goal of mine like that. But winning a blue trophy is something that's so difficult to do. Especially when you get to the elites, it's like the competition that you have is so good. Everybody's the best in the world. So I mean, it's anybody's game when you put the boat in the water. It's anybody's tournament to win. So anybody's liable to catch a giant bag. So you have to catch as much as you possibly can. So to be able to win a 4-day event against that caliber of fishermen like that, and to be able to do it with giant bass the way that it was something I couldn't really put into words. A lot of emotions. I was closer to Aaron Martin's, and then to be able to see all his Elite Series trophies like that, and then to actually be able to hold one in my hands and get that victory is, I don't know, man. It's honestly makes me emotional thinking about it. Just with putting all the time and effort and the blood, sweat, and tears into the sport that I love, and finally something working out like that. It's been like, it's up to that point with that Elite Series win. I've had some close second place finishes to some big events, and I think that win right there was really a big confidence booster for me, and it really boosted my confidence into this season, into this year, the best year that I've had ever fishing, and it's really got the train rolling, and it's a blessing for sure. I've definitely said a lot of prayers this season. It's been a true blessing.
Yeah. I want to back up a little bit before we continue. Before you actually made the Elite Series, you were already a $1 million winner. You fished the Johnny Morris U.S. Open team tournament and won it, $1 million. Yeah, man, that is just insane. How old were you then when you fished the Johnny Morris U.S. Open, and And talk a little bit about that tournament going into it, and what was that all about?
Yeah, I think I was like 19 or 20 or something like that when I ended up winning that tournament with Logan. And it was we were traveling actually in South Carolina at a place. I think it was Lake Wiley. We were fishing a college tournament, and we had just got an email that the last chance qualifier was for that tournament was that next week, and so we drove straight from South Carolina, me and Logan, and we were in my Nitro Z20. Yeah, I didn't have any really big fancy graphs or anything like that. I think I had like a 10-inch helix on the back and
Yeah.
had a little live scope on the front and a little hummingbird up front. And we drove up there to that tournament, man, and ended up getting in that last chance, qualifier at Bull Shoals. We ended up qualifying for the championship, and so we ended up going to the championship. We only had like a day of practice or something. It was like a day and a half of practice or something like that, and ended up practicing, fishing the tournament, and ended up figuring them out during the tournament. And that was kind of the first tournament that I'd ever figured out, like kind of the live scoping with the minnow thing. And that was before it got really popular,
Yeah.
and so that was kind of something that I learned, a while ago, and was able to use that. And we got blessed and saw some birds diving that final day. Ended up riding over there, and there was a bunch of big bass chasing bait, and ended up winning the tournament by, I think it was only 2 or 3 ounces or something
Wow.
like that, and won $1 million, 2 trucks, 2 boats. So I mean, at that age, that was life changing
Yeah.
for us, life changing money. And then I was able to fish all the Bassmaster Opens and after college with that money, and ended up making the Elite Series.
Wow. And who was your team partner in the U.S. Open that year?
Logan Parks.
Oh, Logan. Okay, awesome, man. Awesome, dude. Well, I tell you what, man. 3 high school championships, a college championship, U.S. team championship. You know what? There's only one thing left, man. That classic championship, making your first. You qualified for your first next year in Knoxville, man. So, yeah, you're going to get one of them one of these days. Who knows? Maybe it might even be next year. Last year, Easton Fothergill proved that you can win it your first try. So, why not,
awesome.
right? Why not next year, right?
That was awesome. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a tournament that I've been looking forward to for a long time, man. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. And another thing too that I would like to say is, like, to all the young guys too, is, always fish hard, put your head down, don't listen to what anybody else has to say. Especially, there's a lot of griping and negativity in the world now, but you just keep your head down and focus on what you're doing. You can go do what you want to achieve. And I think this last tournament, that Ultimate Angler championship that I was blessed enough to win on Gunnersville, it was with no forward-facing sonar, and I think that proved a lot for the younger generation.
Yes.
And, I think that's something that needs to be said. And to all the young guys out there who put the time in, it's all about you putting the time in for sure, and being out there on the water. So I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the rule changes going into next season. Of course, the big one being the forward-facing sonar rule change. Talk about that a little bit, and what's the effect of that going to be over the long term with the elites? Do you feel in your mind?
I mean, I don't really know. I just want to fish, honestly. I don't care. I mean, I'd rather have forward-facing sonar than not have it, obviously, because a lot of guys like to use it, and there's a lot of guys that don't like to use it. I like to use it, and I like to fish without it as well. But if I had the choice, I would much rather have it on the boat and let the angler decide what they want to do, whether it be turn it off or turn it on. That way that spreads out the field 50-50, or at least 60-40, where you've got guys fishing shallow and some guys fishing deep, so that you're not all fishing for 30% of the population on the bank. So it just depends on the fishery for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing that it's totally without it or it's totally with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be out there having to practice for 2 different tournaments. You know, I want to figure out a few different bites for how I'm wanting to fish and try to stick with that. You know, you see some tournaments that it's kind of different format than that, and I feel like it would be very difficult to practice for 2 different tournaments during practice. But you know, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just ready to go fish, man. I'm ready to go have fun, get out there, and I don't really listen to whatever people say on social media. I just like to go out there and fish.
Yeah. Did you have a welcome to the elite? I'm getting tongue tied there. Did you have a welcome to the Elite Series moment last year? You know, you always hear it talked about in sports like NFL. Welcome to the NFL moment, basketball. What was your welcome to the Elite Series moment last year? Or did you have one?
Definitely when Dave Mercer, the first day of my Elite Series career on the St. Johns River, when he was calling my name out and I was idling out, that was definitely the moment. Like, holy crap! You know, you've made it to the elites, and I just like broke down in tears when I was like idling out, and it's just like most guys do. You know, it's just such a big moment for us. For people that make it, it's like a dream just to make it, and everybody that tries to make it, you know, to a professional level knows how hard and how much of a struggle and time you have to put in and effort. So, yeah, it was emotional. And then also the weigh-in. The Elite Series weigh-ins are crazy. There's, you know, a lot more people than the Opens and college weigh-ins, and it's a lot more hyped up. Dave Mercer really does a good job hyping up the crowd, and it's really awesome. It's like something I've dreamed of for a long time.
Yeah, and I just think with Dave Mercer, man, it's just incredible. And most all of what he says, especially the introduction of the whole, that's all off memory. He doesn't have any cards or nothing. You know, and you see the backstage cameras when he's announcing the top 10 after day 3 going into the final day, where he's right in your face, basically announcing you before you walk out on stage one at a time, and all of that is in memory, and that's just I tell my wife all the time I can't remember, sorry babe, but I really can't remember what we had for dinner last night, and he's remembering all that, man. So he is just an incredible MC for bass, and you know,
awesome.
he just
that's all off the top of his head. I mean, he doesn't have any notes or nothing. You know, I mean, he just remembers that. It's the craziest thing. Like when those top 10 call outs, like you were saying, and when he's spitting out all those facts and accolades of people, he's just doing it off of memory. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. Has he gave you a nickname yet?
No, not really. We all call ourselves the guys that I room with, Andrew Loberg, Emil Wagner, and Paul Marks. We call ourselves the Surge House. Which basically means, you know, if you're out there and you're struggling, or if you're having a good event, you catch a really big bag that day, you know, you basically surged. So that means you basically surged up the leaderboard.
Right.
So that's what we call ourselves, the Surge House. It's just something we've been saying for a few years, and we're actually going to have some merch out for this next Elite Series season.
Oh wow!
So it's going to be pretty sick, and they're all a bunch of really good guys that I travel with.
That's awesome, man.
House.
Yeah, they're you know, your roommates on tour. They're pretty much almost like your second family, because you got to be honest, man. You're probably with them once the season starts more than you're actually with your family. So there's a lot of good times, and you know, do you guys do any filming or YouTube or any of the house or anything? Do you guys do anything like that or not?
Oh yeah. I've got my own personal YouTube series on YouTube. Tucker Smith Fishing is my YouTube channel, we document pretty much my whole season of every Elite Series tournament.
Yeah.
Just kind of like behind the scenes, what it's like traveling around as an Elite Series angler with a bunch of idiot friends. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shows you what it's like to
Yeah.
But I also, Hudson Tennell, he's my camera guy. He does a great job, follows me around for the whole season. He also helps me, do some specialty videos and stuff like that around
Yeah.
the house on the off season. So he's a great guy and really good at what he does.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I've got him helping me out. So I think and Emil has also got Forrest, who's his personal camera guy that follows him around all the tournaments, and he's actually a really good cook as well. He cooks for us at the house too sometimes, like before the tournament starts. So
Yeah.
it's a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome because, and that gives the fans that are able to watch the behind the scenes stuff that goes on in the house, on the road, because fans really don't get a chance to see, before YouTube and before some of the pros like yourself and like some of the other pros that actually document basically the whole year, from a fan's perspective, they really don't know really what happens and goes on behind the scenes. So it's really cool how you guys could actually give that point of view to the fans as far as, how you guys live, what you do, and take the fans into where you guys stay, and that's really cool for, from a fan's point of view to be able to watch that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for sure. I think it might have been Ten Killer is one that's really funny. It's hilarious. We pulled some pranks, had some ping pong matches, played some Fortnite. It was pretty cool. So, if y'all like matches and challenges and games like that, definitely look at my YouTube Ten Killer video.
I'll have to check that out, and I'm definitely going to subscribe as soon as we get done with this thing here. But a couple more things. The 2026 schedule, what was the first thing that stood out to you when the schedule was released?
The first thing that stood out to me, you mean like locations or
anything as far as what was the first thing you thought about as far as the lakes or where you're going or whatever, as far as what was the first thing you thought when you seen the lakes on the schedule?
The first thing I thought when I saw the lakes on the schedule was I was very excited.
Right.
I'm going to Gunnersville. That's where I've lived for the last couple of years, so I'm very excited that an Elite Series tournament's going there. That's something that I've been waiting for a long time, and I was hoping that it would happen in the near future when I moved there. So I was very excited about that. I was very excited about Champlain being on the schedule. I was fortunate enough to win a Toyota Series out there this year,
right.
So being able to go there again was fun. And then I saw the fishing sonar rules, and that was kind of a bummer for both of those lakes. But at the same time, I'm excited to go out there and try to figure it out without it. So those are my two favorites for sure. I like the St. Lawrence River. I like most of the places that are on the schedule. You've got some stingy rivers on the schedule as well, which you've always got to throw some in there to, because it really, those kind of events like that are something that can make or break somebody's season. So
yeah.
It's important to be consistent, and I like that. I like going to diverse places and having to be consistent. So.
How about your least favorite on the schedule?
My least favorite on the schedule, man, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been to. I think it's the. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know if I'm going to be.
You probably don't have a least favorite because you just want to get out there and fish, man. You don't care where you're going. You're just going to go fish, put the baits in the water, and go kick some butt and take some names.
Hopefully that would be awesome. But I mean, that's just like, I might, if I say something like river, I might go over there and actually like it. I don't know. I've never been to those places, so we'll never see.
Yeah, right. I want to talk real quick about something really, really cool that you ended up winning a few months ago. One of the biggest payouts for a first place payout, and not only a first place payout, but a payout across the entire field. I think that might have been a record as far as the payout they paid out. Let's talk about the Ultimate Angler Challenge, dude. Uh, what was it? 500,000 first?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Pretty unbelievable. That was a tournament that I just got into. My buddy Hayden was actually telling me, sign up to do the membership or whatever. Sign up on the membership and get your membership. So that you can get qualified for that tournament.
And that was on Gunnersville too.
And I finally signed up and ended up qualifying for it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Ended up fishing that, and ended up qualifying for that tournament. Ended up fishing it, and yeah, man, it was unreal. It was something I wasn't really expecting to do that well. I found some places that I thought I could catch some fish on, and some of those places actually ended up being a lot better than I expected. And I think that those places, without having scope, I was actually able to slow down a lot more on some of those specific places and kind of pick it apart and find the exact cast that I could catch some of those bigger ones on. And that's kind of what I did. And yeah, man, ended up winning it, and it was surreal for sure. It was surreal.
And that was incredible. Yeah, it's man, just the payout alone. You're not only talking first place. Yeah, 500 grand, man. And I've never seen it. I mean, even well. I don't want to throw the Classic into that category because 300,000. But if you win the Classic, it's worth. If you market yourself right, it's worth way over $1 million. From what they say. But man, just incredible payout, dude. And I think they put it on really well too. And one of the cool things about it too is it gives some of the grassroots anglers a chance to compete against the likes of yourself, Elite Series Pros, Bass Pro Tour Pros. So it gives some of the BFL guys and some of your grassroots guys that qualify, it gives them a chance to go up against you guys and see how they can do, on that level. So that's one of the cool things about that tournament. I hope they do it again. I hope this was the first of many as an annual event too.
Yeah, I do too, for sure. It was an awesome event, and everybody was there from different organizations, MLF, all those guys, Bassmaster.
Yeah.
Everybody in that room was all some of the best fishermen in their state, for sure. And pretty much everybody in there was just absolute crazy bass fishermen, hammers. So yeah, it was cool being looking around and seeing there's some of the best fishermen in Tennessee, or there's some of the best fishermen in Alabama, or there's some of the best fishermen in Florida. It's really awesome to see that. So, but yeah, it was an awesome event, and I'm ready for next year. They said they're having it next year, so that's very exciting.
That's awesome, man. Superstitions, do you have any?
No, I do not. Really, I do not. I don't believe in that stuff. I've heard the banana one. If you have banana boat, it's bad luck, but I don't believe it because I've brought a banana out in the boat before and it's been fine.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I would say the biggest thing is I would say that's a tough one.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's
I would say play music in the boat.
Playing music in the boat, yeah.
I always play music in the boat when I'm running around.
There you go.
If I don't play music, I'm not really feeling it. I'm running around, I don't feel the same.
I was gonna say the banana superstition. That's crazy because it's hard to believe, but how many pros actually believe in that? And back in the day, when the Bassmaster Top 150, which today it's the Elite Series, but even when they used to have co-anglers back then, or just for example the FLW Tour, if a co-angler was to bring a banana, there are some pros that would check the cooler of the co-angler to make sure they didn't have bananas on the boat. So I used to think that was pretty funny. Oh man! Before we close this thing out, Tucker, you mentioned your YouTube. But go ahead and mention your YouTube channel again, so all of our viewers that don't follow you already can make sure to go ahead and follow Tucker Smith on social media. And but besides YouTube, what's the other social media avenues that people could look you up and follow you?
Yeah, man, it's Tucker Smith Fishing on YouTube and Instagram. That's the biggest two that I really spend a lot of time on. TikTok, I've got TikTok, and as well as I do Facebook too. So, but mostly my Instagram and YouTube are the two most active
That's awesome.
apps that I use. So yeah, you can follow me there. But I post a lot of fishing stuff. I post a lot of tournament stuff, recaps, videos on how to. Right now, I've actually posted some videos on fall fishing and how to find the bait fish and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of tips and stuff that I'm going to be posting during the off season. So definitely give it a look if you're interested in learning something about fishing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, check out Tucker Smith's YouTube channel and make sure to catch his on the road adventures with his crew during the 2026 Bassmaster Elite Series season, and see what goes on behind the scenes in the Tucker Smith household. So, and also make sure to go check that 10 Killer event out, man. I know I'm going to go check that out on YouTube here within probably tomorrow morning. I'm going to make it a point to watch that one and see all the hijinks and fun that goes on that one as well. But Tucker, man, it's been a blast. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to catching back up with you next year in Knoxville on Media Day at the Classic. I'll have to make it a point to do a short interview with you during Media Day next year in Knoxville. So I appreciate it, Tucker, man.
That sounds good to me. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Have a good rest of the off season, and go catch him up next year on the Elites, dude. And look forward to seeing you in Knoxville. Thanks, Tucker.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for watching this week's episode of On the Mic with Tucker Smith. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Norman Lee Fishing. This has been an NLF production.